wonderful to be taught to capoeira. It really is a privilege, actually.
Oh.
I remember coming here the first time and taking the first lesson, and there's something really powerful about this game. Here I was challenged way out of my depth, but in coordination of music and this practice and my own history in Africa really brought me together here. What is it that brought you personally to capoeira?
I think for the same reasons, but obviously with a different background maybe, because I come from Brazil, and I think I was searching for something different. I did dance in early stages of my life as a kid, and I was searching for something that was really, I could just fit in. That was the type of thing that, the type of environment, the type of movement, language and everything. So when a friend of mine said to me, I do capoeira, and I said, what is it? It was quite unusual in Brazil. And I said, where'd you do it? And then my master had an extended school near where I lived. So I went to visit, and I remember the first class I saw was Master Bishop Flores. And I immediately fell in love, and I thought, well, that was it. It was something for me, because you can just, in capoeira, you can develop yourself, as opposed to being someone else or changing, the type of your body, changing the way you are. You can just become better, but still retain your essence. So those elements, and also I was really privileged again to go to a school where there was a lot of generosity, and Master Songa was able to share that with us.
I guess it was about 5.5 years ago. I was working, wanted to do something for me because I was just doing no exercise, nothing whatsoever. And I guess when I was about 8 years old or a bit older, I'd watched a TV advert on BBC and they're doing capoeira. So that looks interesting. Had no idea what it was. Watching it back now, I know exactly what they were doing, every single movement.
Yeah.
Well, when I first heard about capoeira, it was through somebody I was studying with. And this guy was one of Master Silvia's very first ever students, and he used to talk about it like everybody in the whole planet knew what capoeira was, and everything about it. And I felt like I was the only person that had ever not heard of it.
My background has always been in theatre and physical theatre, and I've always been interested in training physically. But I'm not into running and swimming and those kind of monotonous tasks. I need something that's artistic and creative, and this brings together music, language, people, improvisation, and it's really sort of hard, like discipline, brings in an element of discipline, which I really like as well. So that was kind of a logical step for someone who doesn't really like running.
Started once a week. The most intense workout I've ever done in my entire life.
Isn't it just?
But I could not walk for a week. Going down the stairs was impossible. But I still wanted to come back and do more and just learn. And watching everyone play, all the older capoeiristas, just inspired me to do what I'm doing now. And I didn't give up, regardless of the pain. It's just something that liberates me, something that gives me a lot of energy. I'm always thinking about it, I'm always singing the songs. I feel like I'm in the family when I come here, so it just encourages me to come all the time.
I came along to a demonstration, and I remember watching and it was so striking, and I just thought, wow, I really want to be able to do that. But in that quite self-limiting way. I've never been an amazing athlete or anything when I was young, and I just kind of thought, wouldn't it be nice if I'd learned that when I was young? and it kind of didn't actually occur to me that everybody I was watching, barring Master Marcus, had learned at an age when, they were already basically pretty well grown.
And over the years, your game has grown. I know that you have a beautiful girl who's absolutely wonderful. I know too that you were practicing while you were pregnant for some months. How did that carry through in terms of that transition from pregnancy into getting there as part of being a capoeirista?
One thing I really love about capoeira is that in some ways it looks so fancy, but really at its core it's something that you do absolutely as every part of your everyday life. So you can do it when you're a child, you can do it when you're an adult, you can do it at any stage really, and whatever you have on that day is what you bring to capoeira. So it felt very normal to just continue training while I was pregnant, and of course I wanted to come back as quickly as possible afterwards. And yes, that was hard. Yeah, maybe I've lost a little bit, but needing to focus on all those basic movements because it's so hard not to fall over when you're pregnant, frankly.
Capoeira challenges you first of all as a person, so it doesn't really depend on whether you're male or female, but somewhere along the way in capoeira I think you might find stumbling blocks that are to do with maybe your physical abilities, that are to do with your mental mindset, that are to do with your past, with your history, and capoeira puts you in front of those challenges but also helps you to resolve them at the same time. So I don't think it's a question of being man or woman, I think it's a question of being person and dealing with whatever comes your way as you go through your path and journey as a capoeirista.
I realised it was quite unusual when my friends that went to school didn't relate to it, or maybe my family didn't know anything about it. They didn't have any sports experience or arts. My parents are very conventional, so doing something like that was completely, I think, turned that world around, and it was very unusual for someone to do capoeira, and especially a woman.
Has it always been easy for us women in capoeira? Have we always had it this easy to just be part of a family and practice capoeira? What's your understanding of that history?
I'm not sure. I would think not. But I think there always have been some women in capoeira. It's from my understanding of the history. Maybe there's not been so many, but there's always been a few. I think it's the same with women in anything, where you maybe wouldn't expect to find them. But actually, if you look, they are always there and present. And of course, now in increasing numbers, and it probably does get easier and easier. And obviously, having a female master, I think makes a difference.
I've always been mesmerised by watching the capoeira game in Africa, where it's very simplified. The instruments are very similar, but actually, again, it's very male-dominated. It's very, very unusual sometimes to see female capoeiristas rising, particularly in developing countries. What's behind that, and how can we push that forward?
There's probably always going to be a part of it which is going to be male-dominated. And as women start to understand it more and have more of an interest, and in places like Brazil, if you look at obviously Master Silvia and all the other female masters and instructors that we have even at this school, they've devoted their time and energy into something that maybe once was just for men. So perhaps it will grow in popularity as well, but I think right now we've got to do what we can to keep it going.
Does it therefore have a space to empower women, wherever they are?
Absolutely. I think for me, playing capoeira, I feel at one with myself, and actually I know who I am, I know my game, I know my style, my rhythm, and I know my character, if that makes sense. So, and that's a sense of empowerment. Knowing who you are is a massive sense of empowerment.
I think it made me a calmer person, it made me a more observant person, it made me a more patient person, it made me a subtler person. There's a lot of subtlety in capoeira, there's a lot of tuning into dynamics, tuning into the flow of things and responding accordingly. So I think it helped me slot in the flow of life a lot more.
It's always good, especially as a smaller woman, to have a few strengths up your sleeve that make you feel more confident. In terms of training, I'm very happy to train with men and women. There are far more men masters in capoeira, which is why it's so inspiring here at the London School of Capoeira to train with so many incredible women. And I think women are progressing through the ranks of seniority in capoeira as time goes on. But I think that seeing more women in more senior roles in capoeira is kind of where it's going.
What's your favourite musical instrument in capoeira? If you could choose one, which one would you run away with?
The berimbau, because it's got this sound that nothing else has. Like, it's the most unique sound in the world. I need to practice more, that's for sure, but to me it's one of the sounds of capoeira which is just synonymous and is beautiful.